Welcome to Haverchat, a Haverkamp culture cast where we take you behind the scenes here at Haverkamp Group. Hello, everyone. My name is Todd Wiesenberg, and I am the Chief Culture Officer. And we are on episode number 7 of an 8-part series where we are taking you behind the scenes and introducing you to the men and women who are executives and key leaders here at Haverkamp. Today's guest is Tron Scott, who is the Vice President of Haverkamp Farm Management. Welcome, Tron.
Thank you.
You know, I was telling you before we came in here that as I talked to a handful of employees, they were really excited about this podcast because you kind of got a little bit of a cult following here at Haverkamp because of some of your time in front of the group during our quarterly meetings. They think you're funny, Tron.
Well,
so don't disappoint them today.
They need to just get the full picture, I think, maybe. Then they might change their mind.
They might change your mind. All right. Well, let's actually help our audience get to know you a little bit more and get them connected to you with what we call the 4 F's. And that is from, family, fun, and future. So we're going to start with the from, and what I mean from is like born and raised, you know, where you came from. And then part of the from is also your professional story, your journey that brought you here today.
Sure. From, it's just south of our HG office here in Ames, down by Slater. Grew up on a family farm. The farm dates back to 1912. So we are a century farm down there, and was started by my grandmother, and then my father obviously took over, and here I am following after him.
Okay. And now we're going to dive into the family, and I know that's a big part of your life. Just whatever you're comfortable sharing about your family. I mean, you mentioned, being a family farm. You might want to talk about your, family you grew up in, your current family.
Sure.
Yeah, let's hear about your family.
Sure. So, like as I said, family farm, but my wife, her family also farms. We don't work together. We never have. We are in the same area, but she's a farm girl. And so our kids grew up basically working on the farm. Rachel, my oldest daughter, she has worked for us and HF for several years now as a farmhand. So she can actually, Rachel is talented. She can do it all. She plants the beans, she runs a skid loader, but she also does the administrative side. So she has 2 different hats there that she wears, but now she has actually moved because she has just had a baby.
So you have a new title.
I do.
You're Grandpa Tron.
I do. Is it Grandpa? I don't know.
Could be Papa.
It could be
to be determined.
Yep. She lives in Mississippi, so her in-laws. The Southern culture is different than what I'm used to. So they have different names for everybody. So like their grandma is Meemaw. Okay. So I don't know where I'm going to fall.
Okay.
Hopefully it's not Peepaw or something like that. So I do not know where I'm going to shake out.
Okay. To be determined.
To be determined.
Yeah. So I want to, Rachel, phenomenal person, she has what you talked about, wearing many hats. I've seen that, and you should be very proud of her. Yes.
Thank you. Has never been afraid to do anything that's asked. I mean, like I mentioned, run the tractor, take care of administrative work, whatever it is. So that's she's been an excellent help to us for sure.
Yes.
For sure. And then my middle daughter, so I have 3 kids to get back into the family.
Yeah.
She is now married, and she's expecting also. She will be due by the time this is probably released. She will be close to be delivering. So she's due at the end of September. And her husband, Jake, actually works for HG also. So he works with us on the farm side. And he's from a farm in Harlan. So he's got some background to his life. And then my youngest is my son, Jackson, and he is a freshman at Iowa State.
Yep. Is he going to pursue farm management or farming or what?
I don't know. That's to be determined, right? So
typical freshman trying to figure it out.
Who knows,
yes,
right? It's different yesterday and might be a little different tomorrow. So that's okay.
That's okay. We were also talking a little bit earlier about one of the previous episodes with Jessica and her story about being engaged. Got a fun story about asking Mindy to marry you, or is it just pretty straightforward?
She actually, okay, well, we started dating when she was a freshman in high school.
Okay.
Yes. So I was a junior.
All
she
right.
was a freshman.
All right.
And she tried to break up with me once, and I just couldn't let that happen. So, yeah.
So you had to impress her.
I did.
And,
I did. I had my work cut out for me.
Okay.
So, but it worked. So here we are.
Here you are. Now, were you guys at North Polk High School?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So we graduated from the same high school. So she was from Alleman. I was from the Slater area.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to North Polk, graduated from there, and she is a dental hygienist, and I ended up graduating from William Penn.
Okay.
So that's kind of my schooling history there.
Gotcha. Tron, a lot of us guys use this phrase a lot, and that is, we outkicked our coverage.
Yes.
Did you say you would outkick your coverage?
I definitely did. She I still don't know. Like I said, she was a freshman. She didn't know.
she didn't know any better.
She didn't know. She didn't know any better.
That's funny. All right. Speaking of funny, let's actually talk about fun. Any hobbies, passions, interests that you want to highlight, things that, you get excited about?
Yeah, I follow Iowa State athletics.
Okay.
Try to reasonably close, so I enjoy that. Used to coach some basketball. I don't do that anymore,
Okay.
That's fine. Move on from that.
So Iowa State basketball, I think I've seen you on TV a time or two. How have I seen you on TV at an Iowa State basketball game?
We have good seats, I guess.
Yes.
So they happen to be behind the TV announcers. So we're fortunate enough to have those seats. Those actually date back to when Hilton opened.
Wow.
Yep.
That long.
Yeah.
Okay.
1972, I believe, was the season.
So you've seen a lot of Iowa State basketball.
I have.
So I'm gonna dive into that because obviously I'm an Iowa State alum and fan as well. So, what's the most memorable game you've ever seen in Hilton?
Boy, that Oklahoma State game when Naz Long hit that three to send it to overtime. That was crazy because they had their 90% free throw shooter at the line,
and he missed
it, and then Naz hit that shot at the buzzer to send it to OT.
Like half court almost, wasn't it? Or where was it?
Nah, it's probably 25 foot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not quite that deep, but still.
Well, it's a pressure shot, right?
Pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, right.
All right. Who is the most memorable or just outstanding Cyclone basketball player you've seen? Not, meaning they went on the NBA and did anything, but just as a Cyclone, the most, phenomenal basketball player you saw.
I would have to say that there's two guys that stand out to me.
Okay.
Jamal Tinsley, he was guard back in 2000, and then George Niang.
Okay.
Those guys were winners, and just pressure didn't bother them, and they were able to get it done in many levels.
Mm-hmm.
Jamal goes to the University of Kansas and wins down in Fog Allen 2 straight years. Like, who did that, right?
Right.
And George was just able to, for 4 years, build up and become a complete player. Actually, he was way different as a senior than he was as a freshman.
Right.
But his game his mental game was something else.
All right. So let's Mount Rushmore of Iowa State basketball players that you've seen. Okay. So don't think you saw Gary Thompson play. So
No. Did not see Gary.
All right. So you would have Jamal and you would have George on the Mount Rushmore. Who are the other two you would put on the Mount Rushmore of Iowa State basketball players?
Yeah. You got to go back in time to, the outstanding moments in there where Barry Stevens was able to beat Missouri. So that kind of got things jump-started. But Jeff Grayer's right in there. Okay, Jeff Grayer's longevity was greater than Barry Stevens as far as a complete player in college. And so if I have to pick one of those guys, let's go with Jeff Grayer. And then the fourth guy, probably Marcus Fizer.
All right.
Probably.
if you didn't pick Pfizer, I was gonna, maybe fight you on that one, because I agree with all those, and I was wondering what your fourth one was going to be, and I was, in my mind, I had Pfizer in there.
He was actually the basically the first 5-star highly rated recruit that but they had the crazy guy as the coach, so there were those two squads, meaning 2000, 2001, they were full of some crazy players,
and some crazy stories.
Yeah.
All right, let's stay on the topic of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about coaching basketball. You no longer do it. Talk about your tenure. Was it 30 years you coached, or how many years?
29.
Oh, just short of 30.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's okay.
It's I viewed basketball as like a microcosm of life. Actually, sports in general is a microcosm of life. It's a safe environment for kids to go and experience what life is going to be like, and there's not everlasting issues, but there's things that you can learn. Mm-hmm. And really, if you look at compare it to our job situations, your coach is kind of your boss, mm-hmm. and your teammate could be your coworker in the next cubicle, if you will.
Right.
And if you get to play whatever game you're playing, whether it's baseball, softball, football, doesn't matter, basketball, and you get to play ahead of your teammate, well, it's no different than you may get the promotion next to your coworker in the cubicle. Mm-hmm. And you get to experience the positives and maybe the setbacks mm-hmm. In sports, and learn from that.
Right.
So learn how to deal with that. Learn how to handle that.
Yeah, we were at our annual offsite in January, and you, mm-hmm. you brought that story up, and you had a little bit more of a heart for basketball as far as how you saw that playing mm-hmm. out. How does basketball maybe take it up a level, with sharing the ball? Right.
Yeah. Well, basketball can be stated it is the ultimate team game because everyone gets to do everything. Right. If you and I are playing, you get to shoot it and I get to shoot it. I get to dribble it. You get to dribble it. But not everyone's talent is equal enough to be able to split all that up equally. And so with basketball, you may get to shoot it more than I get to shoot it, and I have to learn how to function with that and deal with that, and you would have to learn how to handle that success and still be gracious. I view that as very similar to the workplace. Mm-hmm. Learning how to deal, learning how to be part of a team. Where can I fit in? How can I make the team better? And with sports, there's ways to do that. With basketball specifically, maybe it's not for me to shoot it right now. Maybe I need to throw it to you, mm-hmm. and you shoot it because you have a better shot.
Right.
And it's in the workplace. How can I help HG? How can I make HG better? How can I make it better for my teammates to do my job? And I think that sports is a way for young people to learn how to deal with that and become a more complete, a more balanced individual once adulthood comes.
Gotcha. Yeah, I love that. Thinking about Havercamp Group mm-hmm. and thinking about Havercamp Farm Management, when you think about the future of both of those, what comes to mind when people ask you, maybe even like, Tron, why did you make the switch? Why did you decide to take on this role of vice president for Havercamp Farm Management in terms of the future as well?
Sure. A little bit of background going into that. Okay. So I had met Paul actually beginning really through basketball. Mm-hmm. And so I had the family farm, right? Well, Paul approached me, and I did some farm operations for them on a couple of locations, and did some managing. And so that was kind of the first. And he has never told me this, so I don't know if he was interviewing me then or not. Maybe he was. I have no idea. We didn't talk about that. But a few years ago, he mentioned to me, "Hey, what would you think about you coming and run the operations for us and run some management stuff. And I said, well, yeah, that one, maybe, sure. And, not knowing, and this was a few years before the actual, D-Day, right? And so then at the end of 23, he approached me about it, and we talked through kind of what it would look like and some details and some general stuff and then details. So January 1st of 24 happens, and we could call it a merger. We merged, and so then I come on and we're doing Paul and Brent's vision. They're excellent at what they do, and there's a lot that goes into what they do. But one small snippet of that would be the vision and the integration. And one thing about HG, it's how, and Paul has stated it this way, is how we are going to provide necessities for the world. Okay, housing, food, and really looking at it that way, the ag side of HG and the housing side mesh pretty well, because we are bringing some what people need, right? They need housing, right? And they need food, and it's been a tremendous working under that vision and that leadership, because it's stable, it's robust, and steady, for sure.
Absolutely. So rewinding again a little bit, why are farms important to our organization, to Brent, to Paul, and again, what started them down that road? And then you already talked about kind of why they brought you in, but maybe give a little bit of history about farms.
Sure. So Paul, I think that Paul had understood how farmland is a hedge against other unknown factors that can arise, and farming it's stable. It's something that has proven over and over again for years. Okay, since really the beginning of time, that we need food production for sure.
Right.
And Paul has understood that the stability that farmland and farming brings helps smooth out bumps that may appear time to time. So call it a hedge against problems.
Yeah, it makes sense. That makes sense. So thinking about the future, and we've talked on these episodes prior about the 10X plan that Brent started back in 2020. How does that 10X plan impact Havercamp Farm Management?
Yeah, good question. So Brent's plan and Paul's plan for the 10X is a tremendous goal. That's another strength of the leadership, is their ability to say, we want to be growing and aggressive and vibrant and healthy, and to say we want to get 10X from where we were in 2020. And how farms fits into that is back to my comment just a minute ago, is it brings stability and it helps even out the bumps, because farmland is never going to be vacant.
Right. Okay.
We're not looking for tenants, and it's stable. And if you move around and you talk to the old farmers down the road, and you can say, what do you think of farming? Well, they're not making any more dirt. Well, that's true, they aren't. So right. that's the old farmer's way of saying farmland is valuable and it's always going to be stable.
Absolutely. Yeah, growing up in a rural community, I heard that phrase a time or two.
Sure.
Like, God isn't making any more dirt, so this is a good place to be. A good place to be. What does a day in the life of Tron as the VP of Havercamp Farm Management look like?
Try and start early.
Okay.
What's early? I don't know. Early to me, right? Try and be in the office before 7, if possible. It doesn't always work that way, but try to be. And I have a meeting with my team at 7:45, and we go over the day. So what the day's going to look like, where we think we want to be at, as far as projects, and we have a whiteboard, and we've got a whole list of projects up on the whiteboard, and we try and go through not every project every day, but just to get started on the right foot, so we're all in communicating. And then I move into, for me personally, just the administrative side. Where do I need to be? Where does HFM need to be as far as whatever it is we're looking for at the time? Maybe it's financially, maybe it's operationally, maybe it's planning, maybe it's future. And then I'm trying to get, so different times of the year. If we're in the middle of the summer, I'll be in the office more, but once we move into fall, then I'll be out, labor more, and try and help with the operations. So that's kind of what my day looks like.
I'm sure, yeah, a day in the life of Tron Scott with Haverkamp Farm Management really varies depending on the season. Do you have a favorite piece of equipment you like to get into and operate just kind of as that way to get away and clear the mind?
I still like operating. I'm not going to be in operations forever, but running the combine is enjoyable. I like that. It's something about the harvest and the finality and the completion of the season, where running the combine is fun. There's quite a few logistics that go into harvesting, but that's okay. And trying to keep everybody and keep the workers moving and schedules and always the best schedule doesn't typically happen. You have what you're going to do in your mind for either the day or the week, however it goes, and then it ends up changing. So that's okay.
So you have developed the skill of pivoting and problem solving like in the moment.
Yes, lots of problem solving, and that's fun. That's fun to figure out, to conquer that issue. But lots of problem solving, lots of being willing to change and not being upset about the change.
Okay, talking about, I'd just like to hear a story. Maybe you have a fun story about harvest time, just something crazy that happened. I'm sure you got some kind of crazy, you hit something or something happened, a wheel fell off, and I don't know, you got...
Wheel fall off, a fun story, wheel fall off.
I don't know. Maybe that is...
Fun story, harvesting. Well, I don't know if it's fun. Years ago, my dad was still helping, and I ended up falling about 20 feet to the ground.
Whoa.
And fell on my right arm, and I was busy. So what did I do? I didn't go to the doctor. And I maybe broke it. I don't know. It hurt. It hurt.
You still don't know if you broke? I mean, you didn't go to the doctor like a day or two later or anything like that?
And I was driving semis at the time, and I had to shift with my left hand because I couldn't use my right. And my dad was angry at me for falling. So angry might be placing that mildly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Upset, really?
Yeah, a couple choice words for me.
Okay.
So.
Gotcha. All right. Since coming to Havercamp, and you've been around. Actually, you and I have known each other for years as well, going back to our basketball days. Our friend Chris Deason introduced us to one another years ago, and maybe we'll talk about Chris a little bit later when we get to some other parts of this podcast. But so we've known each other. You've known Paul for a while, but coming into the organization, how have you seen culture impact what we do here?
That's a great question, because culture is, it's a buzzword, right? But it is so true. Okay, it's one of those it factors. It's many different ideas on how to get there, and whatever each company has, they might have a different pathway and a different avenue to try to get to that it factor. You know it when you see it.
Okay,
it's like a great basketball player, right? He's got it, but it's hard to define a little bit. How does that great player get to how he's so great? Take the whoever you want to talk about over the years, guys at Iowa State, how did Jamal Tinsley or George Niang, how were they able to have that it factor? Was George the best shooter? Well, we could go find all kinds of better shooters, right? Mm-hmm. Was George the fastest? Well, it was well documented that he played below the rim.
Yes.
Okay? And that wasn't an issue. He had that it factor. Culture, for a company, is the it factor. How do we get to that it factor? Mm-hmm. And Todd, you've done a great job of helping us get to that roadmap of the it factor, getting a great culture. And is it as simple as people want to come to work each day? Well, it's deeper than that. Mm-hmm. It's much deeper. Mm-hmm. It's and the Sherry Award helps give that roadmap on to get to that it factor, the culture. It's so important in walking into this organization and seeing the leadership with Brent and Paul and continuing on down to Dave, to Zach, to Tanya, to Jessica, and to yourself and Chris, and how the culture is feeding through and I'm hoping I'm following right into those steps. Mm-hmm. That's so important.
You are.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the word agriculture. Okay, the last half of that, culture, comes from the Latin word cultus, and cultus means to care for. So what you're doing is caring for the land. What we're doing as an organization is caring for the business and the people and all that comes with that. And so, yes, you are doing it multiple ways as far as carrying the culture torch here. So, you're fitting right in, Tron.
Good, thank you. Thank you.
Well, I've seen it. I mean, I saw it obviously with your daughter Rachel, but even just my interactions with Dom or with Jake, your other team members. I mean, you see it. So, with Havercamp Group, you know that our purpose statement is growing together through real estate. Haverkamp Farm Management obviously is a part of that purpose statement, but Haverkamp Farm Management also has a purpose statement of growing agriculture through innovation and family values. How do you see those tying together?
So I believe that how they tie together was, first of all, the farm is family values. I mean, it's the family farm. We're a family farm with HF and our ag division. We operate as a family farm. We care for it, and we're good. We try to be good stewards. We try to approach how all our decision making it revolves around caring for the land, and we talked earlier about how providing place to live and providing food really is encompasses all of HG. Mm-hmm. So all of these fit together. Mm-hmm. I believe as I look at them, they're all intermeshed together. Mm-hmm. And so the innovation side,
right?
The innovation side is I have always been one that looks to adopt technology, and I learned that years ago through I was had the contract to mow the Ames Airport, and this has been 20 years ago probably, and I was just getting started in technology, and I was not sure if that's something that's going to help us, is that going to make us better, and so on and so forth. Well, I found out in a hurry by mowing the Ames Airport that I needed this technology. So that was an eye-opening, or that was a aha moment for me to say technology is important. So I've been an early adopter of technology. Now we don't go willy-nilly and just buy everything under the sun, but if we can see a value and it helps us be more efficient and bring value to the bottom line, we will adopt that technology. In fact, we have been such early adopters, if we can use that phrase, that we run all green equipment, John Deere equipment. Sorry to all you red people out there for Case IH, but we run all Deere, and so we are such early adopters that Deere has gotten a hold of HFM multiple times, and we sit down with their team members in their technology division, okay, and they give us technology. They give us ideas. They bounce stuff off us. They want to know how that's going to profit us and where they can be, how they can improve it. So that's been fun sitting down with. So we've had multiple meetings with some of their technology teams from overseas, Germany, India, so on and so forth, and here in the States, wanting to know, okay, how can we make this product better?
Gotcha. What's the greatest innovation that you guys have adopted? I mean, if you could say this has been the thing so far, in technology that has really been a game changer for us. You got one thing?
Guidance. Auto steer.
Okay.
When it first came out years ago, I saw it advertised, and I remember thinking, "Oh, I'll never use that." And it increases your workload during the day. You don't get worn out. Mentally, you stay sharp, and it can drive better than we can. So, yeah.
All right.
Guidance. Without a doubt. Okay. You mentioned Sherry earlier, which is our acronym, our icon for our core values of stewardship, hard work, accountability, results-driven, and integrity. Which out of those 5 is your favorite? Integrity.
And why?
Because I believe if I operate with integrity, it's going to force me to be a good steward. It's going to force me to work hard, because can I really look at myself in the mirror and say, well, you didn't do that as well as you could have? For me, it's integrity.
It's integrity. Makes sense. I wrote down 2 for you. I mean, I can make an argument for all 5, but off the top of my head, the first one I wrote down was hard work. And the reason I wrote down hard work is, might be, I don't know, maybe a little swayed by this, but as I interact with our new employees and I ask them that question, and knowing, a little bit about their background and their resume, it seems like 90% of the time, any new employee that we hire that comes from some kind of farm or ag background, 90% of the time they say hard work is the core value that they value the most. And I think it's pretty obvious, being in the ag state that we are and what it means to work on a farm and why they would value that. And you touched on this already, but I also put down stewardship. The fact that, what you are doing as far as caring for the land is very important, and you steward it well. So hard work and stewardship is what I wrote down for you, Tron.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Who on your team is letting their Sherry shine, and how? Who are some teammates that you want to just give shout outs to here?
Yeah, well, let's start out talking about Dom. Dom works extremely hard, which is great. He there's not a project that he's not willing to just go and tackle, and so his hard work and his stewardship to get those jobs and get them in a spot for us is tremendous. So I wanted to start out with him, because that's at times, it takes incredible amount of hard work, and we get long hours. And like in the spring, I mean, there were multiple days that we were running probably 15, 16 hours.
Wow.
And we'd go many days in a row with that. And, after a while, it gets tiring to do that.
Sure.
And, and maybe, operations, sometimes things don't go quite right. So, everyone's has to focus on keeping their fuses a little longer, right? Especially when you're running that many hours. So Dom has done a great job of his work, of how hard he works, and his stewardship on getting those projects completed. Okay. And then Jake grew up on a farm over at Harlan. His dad farms over there by Defiance, and Jake he graduated from Harlan and then went to UNI and played football at UNI, and then in fact that's where Katie was up there going to school, and that's where they kind of met. She was actually not at UNI; she was at Hawkeye Tech, Hawkeye Community, and but so he's from that farm background. So he's very good at the methodical side of tackling projects and putting getting the project started and understanding the steps. And then Rachel, we've talked about Rachel also. Rachel's still working part-time for us, doing some administrative stuff, and she's very good. She's getting got the government side, handles that. She's got that figured out on the FSA. So the ag department, agricultural department with the government, does a great job with paperwork there and filling out those forms. So everyone on our team is filling a role, and they're doing a great job of also then plugging holes where they need to fill in. So
yeah, great team, and it's only going to grow because obviously as we add more farms, more acres, your team will grow, and you got a great foundation to build off of there. Anything you want to celebrate, or any new projects, or any new things that's going on at HFM that you want to highlight?
Just preparing for harvest. When this gets released, we'll maybe have started. Our early stuff. We're probably at least a month out before we would consider, as of today, starting. But it's more than likely will be into October when we get started. More than likely. So we're just prepping and getting ready for that.
Any early indications? Rain makes grain. We had lots of rain.
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
I hesitate to say this because then it sounds like I complain if there's no rain, and now I'm complaining that there is rain. And so,
well, isn't that what farmers do?
Well, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, so it would be okay if it would maybe just shut off a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Not complaining. Just a little.
All right. One thing we haven't talked about is, as I look over my shoulder, I see, Four Bear Ranch. And what's your role with ranches? HFM's role with ranches?
Yeah. So it's actually at Dana Meadows Pass Creek out by Saratoga. Brent's got a ranch out there, about 65,000 acres. That there's a local cattle operation that rents that, and it is ag, but it's different than here. There's many things, nuances that are different. We have all kinds of rain, right? Well, they don't get that out there in their climate. They're actually that ranch is actually on the exact same latitude as we are.
Okay.
But they don't get the amount of rain that we get. And so there are things like water rights. You can only use your share of the water at a certain time. So they have canals dug where they will try and water their pasture, and in fact there's a reservoir out there north of I-80 called the Kinney Reservoir. Well, got a letter from the engineer's office out in Wyoming that said there's a problem with the reservoir. So it's like I'm looking at it, and okay. So I call out there, and I actually used this phrase with the engineer out in the state of Wyoming. I said, explain it to me like I'm a fifth grader. I said, because where I'm from, I don't deal with reservoirs. We have Saylorville and Big Creek, and that's all I've looked at them. All right. So he explained it out, and it's not as big a deal as when you first get the letter. You're like, oh no, right? But just some maintenance that needs to be done, and so we're gonna find out a way to deal with that maintenance, which it's not this massive project, but it needs to be addressed. So it's the Wyoming is ag, but it's different than Iowa.
Sure.
Just nuances. It's 65,000 acres, and they have what's called AUMs. There's animal units that you can only have so many cow-calf pairs on these acres, and it's extremely interesting. There's a lot of you deal with the federal government, with Bureau of Land Management in the state of Wyoming, and it's fun to learn that and get it all under control and have a grasp on, okay, this is what we need to do next. Which the timing is different than here. There's just a lot of differences there, but it's still ag.
Still ag.
But
man, as you're talking, I'm like, that is like completely different.
It is. It's very different.
We do obviously mostly, row cropping here, and we've got the CRP and that, but that's a whole different level there, as you just explained.
It like out here, it's basically private ownership, right? Well, out there you've got the federal government owns some of it, and then we have some of it, and then the state has some of it, and all that fits together, and the government's easy to work with. I mean, it's not this complex thing. It's just understanding the nuances of it all.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
All right. We are going to participate, or you're going to participate in Haverchamps right now. I know you've watched some episodes, so you know how the game is played. You will have 94 seconds, and Graydon's getting out his clock here now, getting ready to get 94 seconds on there. So the significance, again, of 94 is we started in 1994. Mm-hmm. That's when Brent founded Havercamp Group and Havercamp Properties.
I thought maybe it was your 94 was like Jay Billis and his 94.
Oh, like walking down the court, 94 feet of, his
94-foot chat there.
Yeah, that's right. I never thought
when I first heard that. That's what I thought it was.
Because you're looking through the lens of basketball.
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
But 1994.
Yep.
1994. Okay, but before we get to that, I need to know. Okay, I have highlighted 30 questions on here. So the top score is 28. Chris Lenore got that on the last episode. Zach Ludwig is in second at 27. Dave Hyman's in third at 26. What's most important to you as we get ready to participate? Getting at the top of the leaderboard and dethroning Chris and being number one, or maybe getting second or third and just getting Dave off the leaderboard? What's most important to you?
Well, winning is, the object of the game is to score one more point than the other team, right?
You play to win the game.
Yes. So that's fine. But boy, if you can bounce Dave, what can be better? Every time I see him, I could tell him, how's fourth?
How's fourth? That's right.
Yep.
All right. So
27. We're going for 27.
Yeah. No ties. No, you can't get 26.
Well, we get 29. We'll get 29.
Okay.
We just want to make sure we get more than 26.
Definitely want to get more than 26. So a lot of this is really dependent upon me and how fast I read. So I'm going to really work hard on reading fast because I want to see you be successful. All right. Timer ready? All right. Here we go. Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
Morning person or night owl?
Morning.
What's your favorite season?
Fall.
Beach vacation or mountain getaway?
Mountain.
Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
No.
What's your favorite holiday?
Christmas.
Sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise.
Dogs or cats?
Dog.
If you could travel time, past or future?
Future.
Hot or cold weather?
Cold.
Comedy or drama?
Comedy.
Vegetables or fruits?
Fruits.
Do you believe in aliens?
No.
What's one thing you never leave home without?
Your credit card.
What's your favorite way to spend a weekend?
Sitting at home.
Green or red?
Green.
What's your favorite type of music?
Rock.
How do you like your eggs cooked?
Over medium.
Bacon or sausage?
Bacon.
Cyclones or Hawkeyes?
Cyclones.
What's one word that best describes you?
Funny. I don't know.
Favorite Havercamp core value?
Integrity.
Favorite farm to manage?
Polk 3.
Polk 3. Okay. Describe our company culture in one word.
Awesome.
Favorite morning routine?
Getting up, going to the office.
One thing that always makes you smile at work?
Dave.
Favorite company event or tradition?
Company meetings.
One thing about Havercamp you brag about?
Oh, the culture.
Most rewarding part of your job?
The stewardship, raising a crop.
One thing that makes a great coworker?
The ability to have good judgment.
A skill that helps you in your job?
Steadiness.
One way you give back to the community?
Being available to whoever needs help.
All right. I think we have a new leader. What was that score?
I counted 32.
Yeah. I highlighted 30, Tron, and I had to go back and go to my second tier questions. So I think we have a new number one.
Oh, okay.
So not only did you get Dave off the leaderboard, but you put yourself at the top. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dave.
Okay.
Just
saying.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Chris, Zach, hat tip to you, but Dave.
Dave, yep. All right, I want to circle back to some of these questions, and you know, I try to tailor some of these questions, thinking I know the answer. I knew you were going to answer comedy over drama. And that's because we share the love for a movie, you, Chris Deason, and I.
Oh, yeah.
And what is that movie that we love?
Fletch.
And why do we love it?
Well, I mean, Mr. Underhill, I mean, he went out for his whatever he went out for. And
I know.
I almost threw that in there.
Yeah. So there's only a handful of people that are like going to get those
right.
jokes and that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, that's something we share in common is our love for the movie Fletch. Yeah, I had to laugh because the green or red.
Yes.
I knew
we already addressed that one.
Yeah, so. John Deere, and you even apologized to your Case IH people.
Yes, they get pretty touchy about that.
Sure. And I knew, obviously, Cyclone or Hawkeye. I just had to put that one up there just because I knew it would go fast like that. So, all right. So we have a new leader on the leaderboard. We'll have to see how Paul does next week.
Yep.
So he'll probably practice.
You could probably ask Paul like math questions, like difficult, and he'd still end up with like 35. Like, just whatever. I mean, he'll come up with it. Boom.
He will. I always like to close that part of asking, if a person's personal mission statement. Do you have a personal mission statement or kind of a rally cry that you have for Tron Scott?
Wow, that's something.
Didn't prepare for that one.
Well, I didn't really prepare hardly much for what you said, but what you asked, I mean, I'm not sure. I don't know.
Okay, I'll circle back around with you off mic some other day.
That's fine.
That's fine. All right. What's one thing you wish you would have said today that you didn't? Anything that you wish you would have said that you didn't?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I just my level of appreciation and gratitude with the ability to work here at HG is sometimes that maybe can be cliche-ish, but for me it's true. Coming to work each day with working for HG is and it's incredibly fulfilling. The leadership with Brent and Paul, and then moving out from there is steady. It's robust. It's reliable, and the Sherry acronym is sums up really what this company's about, and the level of appreciation I have, and to come and work each day is actually it's awesome. So,
well, thank you, Tron, and thanks for your time today, and appreciate you. And you were funny too, so I don't think you disappointed those fans of yours.
Well,
but anyway,
I don't know.
Okay. All right. At Havercamp, we believe the strongest of cultures are grown with intention and care. And we believe that it doesn't belong to just one person, it belongs to all of us. And so until next time, keep leading and learning.